Hey everybody, Jochen Heiden here, and today I'm going to be introducing you to my return to flight simming. So this used to be, way back in the day, my main thing. I used to love flying. I flight IL-2 Cliffs of Dover, all the previous IL-2 iterations, DCS, I did it all, and I loved it. But then I had kids, and then I realized I didn't have time to sit here for 3 hours in one sitting, for example, to fly a sortie when I had little kids around. So I had to give it up, but the kids are growing up now and I've got more time and I really want to get back into this. So I dusted off IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad here because I owned it way back when. And I'm going to try to fly this today. Cold turkey. So I got all my stuff set up. I got my track IR. I got my throttle, stick, rudder pedals. I have all that stuff. I've gone to the controls and set them up the way I think they're supposed to be. So we're just going to do this, all right? I'm going to fire up the engine, taxi out, take off and land. And I think I can do it. I mean, it's been years, but it's like riding a bike, right? Okay, so a couple things I'm going to do before we start. I'm going to make sure that my tail wheel is unlocked. And unlock those on this lever on the left. It's up when it's unlocked. Okay, then we're going to set our trim for takeoff. And I want it actually, I want it right at 0. 0 is good for takeoff. Okay. And I'm going by memory. I haven't flown a 109 in like 7 or 8 years, but I'm just going off of what I remember or something similar to it. So, okay, then we're going to start the engine. So just let's start it up. Got some circuit breakers to push in. Mixture's on. Got to prime the pump there. Magnetos. Okay, now we have the inertia starter. This is simulating our ground crew with a big lever, turning our Bosch inertia starter. When it gets to a certain, basically pitch or sound, we're going to pull the lever, and it's going to drop the inertia starter onto the flywheel and get the engine started. There it is. Awesome. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is a flight control check. So I like to do ailerons left and right, elevator left and right, big circle. Then we're going to check rudder, free and clear, brake pedals. Okay, everything's set. Alright, so we got the canopy open so we can see. So it looks like the runway's over there. I see what appears to be a windsock, so we'll head that direction. From what I recall years ago, taxiing was always a big pain, so if I do a ground loop here, don't get mad, alright? But let's go ahead and try this. Okay, give us some power. A little bit of breakaway power, and then pull it back. And then we have to be very active on the rudder pedals and on the toe brakes in case it gets away from us. And we also need to look out from side to side and make sure we're not going to run into anything. Okay? Taxiing a 109 needs to be done nice and slow because it has a very short, very narrow undercarriage and it'll flip over on you real quick. Alright? So we're going to follow this path down the road here. Nice and slow. Again, watch my feet. I'm being very active on the rudder pedals just to keep this thing from getting loose on me. Occasionally peeking out the side. Okay. Thank you guys for watching this. I don't know who's actually going to watch it, but you're coming along with me on my first flight in 7 years, so I really hope I don't jack this up. I want to do a good job, so this is so much fun for me. It's been so many years since I've got to fly, so it took me about an hour to set everything up, but I think it's going to be worth it. Look at the graphics on this. Isn't that amazing? Look at the flames coming out of the exhaust stack. Okay, so far so good. We haven't ground looped it yet, so that's a good sign. I hope I still got it, guys. So we're coming up on the runway. So looking at the windsock, it looks like we might have actually like a crosswind. Or like a left quartering tailwind, but I think we'll be fine. Alright, so let's get this straightened out on the runway. And then once we get it straightened out, we're going to lock the tail wheel. Okay, so we'll close the canopy now. And what I'd like to do is center my track IR and lock it. So now I can move my head around, but my view is fixed straight ahead. You know, because I want to focus on just flying straight and not looking right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly advance the throttle to full power, and I'm going to look to be rotating at about 180 to 190 indicated airspeed, kilometers. Sorry. And I remember this from flying 109s years ago. All right. So after that, we're going to get the gear up, and we're going to pitch for 250 kilometers an hour indicated until about 500 or 600 meters above the ground, and then we'll level off, make our crosswind leg and our downwind leg. So the runway heading appears to be, I don't know, about 120. So the reciprocal will be about 300. All right, enough talking. Let's do this. All right, let's go. So I'm going to add in a lot of right rudder to start because I know the torque's going to want to pull it the other way. All right. And slowly add power. Okay, full power. Lots of rudder. A lot of right rudder right now. Okay. The tail is flying. Okay, rotate. Gear up. Okay, we're going to pitch for 250. Alright, we're coming up on our altitude fast, so I'm going to pull power way back. Push the stick forward to level it out. Okay, a little bit of nose down trim, and we'll start this crosswind leg here. Alright, takeoff was good. It felt great, man. It felt like I'd never stopped doing it. Alright, so now we're going to turn it into our downwind leg, looking for about a 300 heading on the downwind. I'm pulling the power way back. We don't need to be going fast right now. And there's the runway. That's about 300. We can roll out on this heading. Alright, so far so good, guys. I swear I feel like I never quit. This feels so awesome. Alright, I'm gonna add a little bit of power, get a little more altitude here. I'm getting a little low. Okay, so when I get a beam of the runway approach side, I'm gonna start getting ready for landing. Okay, so now we're gonna get the gear down, and I'm gonna start lowering the flaps. Now flaps are like a hand wheel. You see it? You gotta turn it by hand to lower the flaps. When you see about 5 hash marks on that flap trailing edge, the leading edge of the flap, that's when you know it's down, or the wheel stops turning. We need to add some power. Okay, flaps are down. We're gonna start our base leg. Gonna keep about 220 for the 220 right now. Airspeed. I'm gonna leave the tail wheel locked for landing because I think this thing's a handful, or it's gonna be a handful on the rollout. So if I keep the tail wheel locked, I could steer better. Okay, now we're gonna turn for our final. Looking for an approach speed of about 200. Adding a little bit of nose up trim. There's the runway. Runway's in sight, so I'll lock the track IR again because I like to focus on flying now, not worrying about where my view's at. Okay, looking good. Okay. Alright, as I crush the threshold, I will go to idle and start rounding out for my flare. I'm going to try to hold a 3-point attitude. Okay, we're down. So we need to be proactive on the brakes and the rudder. Okay, I'm on the brakes. Alright. Guys, we did it. Whew. Man, that was my first landing in like 7 or 8 years. That felt great. Oh man, okay, so let's unlock the track IR. Open the canopy. Man, my heart's racing. That was fun. Awesome. Okay, so we'll set the trim back to 0. We'll raise the flaps, and we'll start taxiing this thing back off the runway here. So, oh, also, now that I'm needing a taxi, I'm going to unlock the tail wheel so I can steer this thing. Let's get these flaps up. Where should we park? I think we can park over to the right by these trees, yeah? Yeah, let's go over there. Probably shouldn't be going through the tall grass like this. My prop's probably chewing up some grass right now, but you know, that's okay. Next time I'll use the actual taxiway. We'll just park it in the trees for now. How's that sound? Yeah, so this thing wants to pull hard left on the ground. So you'll see my rudder is always kind of hard to the right, and I'm using a lot of right toe brake to keep it straight. So we'll pull up in these trees here. Okay, brakes. So the nice thing about a tail dragger is that if you want to, you can kind of turn you can pivot on a wheel and get a nice sharp turn. Watch, I think I can do this. Watch, if I want to like get out of these trees, I push the rudder hard left, hold the left tail brake down, and give some power, and it'll just spin. See? If I want to go right, hold the right rudder and the right toe brake and give it a little boost of power. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down now. Watch the animation. Okay. So we're pushing in some circuit breakers. Shutting off the mixture and the magnetos. And there it is, my first flight. Guys, thanks for joining me on this. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of flight content or not. I need to practice. I need to get good at flying again. And if I do, then I'll start worrying about shooting at people. And if I get good at that, maybe I'll make some videos like I used to. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy flying this because it's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.